Will you lose your money if you invest in NovaTech? That's what the anti-NovaTechers keep saying, right? They keep warning you it's a scam, it's a Ponzi, it's a pyramid scheme, it's this, it's that. And they keep throwing around all this negativity that they haven't yet substantiated, right? It's all just accusations and it's their opinions. But they keep continuing this rhetoric that if you join, you're going to lose your money. And they've been saying this for over 3 years. NovaTech has been around since June 2019. And the anti-NovaTechers, for the past 3 years, it's been the same thing. They've been saying for 3 years, it's going to go away. It's not going to last. It's a Ponzi. You're going to lose money. For 3 years, they've been saying this. And here we are, more than 3 years later, that prophecy still hasn't been fulfilled because NovaTech is still here, still doing its thing. But the haters, they don't want you to believe that. They want you to believe that, no, it's a scam. It's not going to last. They're going to run away with your money. But here it is, more than 3 years later, still going. We're yet to see that prophecy fulfilled. In fact, the haters, they hate NovaTech so much, and anybody that supports NovaTech or is involved in NovaTech in any way, that I've even had somebody in the comment section wish me jail. He says he hopes that I go to jail. Because of what? Like, what's my crime? What crime have I committed exactly? What, trying to help people make some money? Trying to help people improve their lives financially? That's my crime. And plenty of people that have joined NovaTech that are in my team who are much better off financially for that decision, yet the hate is so strong, they want me to go to jail. I mean, it's crazy, man. But it is what it is. You know, we move, we continue to do our thing. The doubters can continue to believe whatever they believe, but that's not going to stop us from us doing what we need to do in order to help people. And personally, I choose facts over fear. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with being afraid. And heck, this anti-NovaTechers, you know, as far as they're concerned, they also feel like they're trying to help people and they're trying to protect people from losing money, right? At the end of the day, they have no facts to back up their claims. They have no facts, and they keep saying it's going to go away, but it's still here. And you know what? They nearly got me. I'll be honest. They nearly got me. Around May of this year, I almost let them get to me because there's so much negativity and you hear so many different things that you get to a point where even with the facts, you're like, I'm not sure. But you know what? I always choose facts over fear, because had I left back then in like around May, June, it would have been purely a decision made out of fear. And I had to ask myself, Paul, why are you afraid? What is it that you're afraid of? You know, there was like something within me, even though I was debating whether I should take my money out, something was within me was like, why are you trying to make this decision? Why are you afraid? What is it exactly you're afraid of? You've done your due diligence. You've gathered the facts, but you're still allowing all the naysayers to cloud your judgment. And for some reason, you know, my gut just told me, no, we're not pulling the money out. We're not leaving. We're staying, because I had no real reason to leave. It would have been a decision made purely based on fear. And I'm someone that I've learned to listen to my gut. It was the same feeling I had back around 2013, 2014, when I was still living in the UK, and I decided that, you know, I think it's time for us as a family to move to a new country and start a new life and just do things differently, because, you know, I was kind of bored of living in the UK and I wanted a fresh start. And in my gut, I felt like that was the right decision. And, you know, hence why we moved to Canada, you know, to cut a long story short. But it was that same feeling in my gut that I felt like it was time to do something different. It was time to move. I couldn't explain it, you know, leaving a country that I'd lived in for pretty much all of my life, where my family is, my friends that I grew up with, all my childhood friends and all of that. Making that kind of a decision wasn't an easy decision, but it was something that I felt in my gut that I needed to do. So I followed my gut, and my gut proved to be right, because it's proven to be one of the best decisions we've made as a family. We've thrived, we've prospered, since moving to Canada. And when I had this wrestling in my spirit, in my gut, with regards to NovaTech, shall I stay, shall I leave? My gut didn't allow me to leave, because there's something in you that knows whether you're making a mistake or whether you're doing the right thing. And I'm in no means saying that, my gut is always completely right and it's never wrong. I'm saying this for me. This is not me trying to tell you what to do. You need to make your own decisions. Don't make your decisions based on my gut, because my gut is mine and yours is yours. You need to go with what maybe your gut is telling you. And if you feel uneasy about it, I always tell people, if you feel uneasy about it, then don't do it. But for me, I felt comfortable. I felt okay with it. My gut told me to stay in it. And boy, am I glad I did, because not long after this, I don't know what to call it, after this wrestling with my gut, I guess, not long after that, my NovaTech business started to explode. And it's been a crazy, beautifully crazy ride. It's just been phenomenal what's been happening. And I could have missed out on that had I been driven by fear, had I allowed all the negativity I was hearing to sway me, to cloud my judgment. And that's where a lot of people are. They're choosing fear over facts, right? I'm sure there are probably people that heard about NovaTech before me 3 years ago when it first started, probably didn't get on board, and 3 years later they're still hearing that same old rhetoric, but now they've missed out on 3 years worth of increase, of profits, of being better off financially. At the end of the day, we all got to make our own decisions, but just make sure that you're going to be okay with the decision that you make down the line, and that you won't be filled with regrets. So yeah, they almost got me with all of that. Oh, it's a scam, it's a Ponzi, and it's this and it's that. But in the same way my gut proved to be right in the decision we made back in 2014 to move to Canada, for me so far, the 10 months or so that I've been with NovaTech, my gut has also proven to be right, because financially it's been such a blessing. And had I not listened to my gut, I would have missed out on so much. And I'm not going to go into specifics and, I've made X amount of money and this and that. I'm not going to do that. But what I will say is it's really helped me financially. Let's just leave it there. The crux of what I'm trying to say is that I decided to be driven by facts and not fear. And ultimately, we all have to choose whether we're going to be driven by the facts or whether we're going to be driven by fear. But whatever decision you made, you got to be okay with that and live with that. And, if you had listened to the anti-NovaTechers 3 years ago, like I was saying before, many people probably heard about NovaTech 3 years ago. Some of you listening to me right now. Here's what you potentially missed out on had you invested just $1,000 3 years ago. This is just illustration purposes only, because there are also those that say, well, it's not sustainable if everybody's just compounding every week. And I'm going to get to that later on, because not everybody's compounding every week. So people are actually withdrawing profits every week, withdrawing bonuses every week. But let's just say for illustration purposes that you invested $1,000 3 years ago, and you just, redeposited your profits every week, and you did that for the past 3 years, your $1,000 would be over $100,000 right now. So there are people who ignored NovaTech 3 years ago, who had they made a small investment of $1,000 would be $100,000 better off right now. But they let the people that were saying it's a scam, it's a Ponzi, they listened to those guys instead, and potentially missed out on $100,000. But it is what it is. My only regret is not knowing about NovaTech 3 years ago. Because if I had jumped into this thing, if I'd known about this thing and jumped into it 3 years ago, my oh my. But we're going to get there. We're going to get there. And, the fact is that there are thousands of successful payments and withdrawals on a regular basis on NovaTech. Coin Payments is a third-party payment service provider that handles all the transactions on behalf of NovaTech. And Coin Payments is quite known in the crypto space. A lot of these big crypto events are actually sponsored by Coin Payments. And that's one of the other reasons that gave me confidence in NovaTech, because they having somebody like Coin Payments handle the transactions, the deposits, the withdrawals, that's a good sign for me. And as you can see by the graphic on the screen, there's been over 400,000 positive reviews on payments and withdrawals. In other words, people are able to get money into NovaTech and get money out. 429,740 positive reviews. There's always going to be some negative reviews, 93 negative reviews, 444 neutral, 93 negative compared to 429,000, which means that for the most part, the general experience that people have with regards to payments and withdrawals on NovaTech is a positive one. Yet people will tell you, oh, your money's going to get lost, you're going to lose money, your money's going to get stuck on the platform. Well, the facts say otherwise, because there are people that are withdrawing weekly, depositing regularly, they're able to get their money out when they want. And I can testify to that. Like I've said it before, I withdraw pretty much weekly from the platform. No issues. But people will still, try to convince you otherwise. But, fear is going to make a lot of people regret not jumping in. Choose facts over fear is all I'm saying. Choose facts over fear. Thousands of people withdraw money every week from NovaTech. Thousands of people. Some people will tell you, oh, but if everybody's compounding and, if you compound X amount for X amount of years, it's going to be $3 billion gazillion. Surely that's not possible. But they keep making that assumption that everybody's just compounding every week. Everybody isn't just compounding every week. Whether you believe it or not, people are withdrawing weekly. Yes, a lot of people do compound. And for a lot of people, they're just compounding until they hit a certain amount and then they want to start pulling profits. But I doubt that people are just planning to compound indefinitely. For me, I personally just don't believe that people really have the discipline to not withdraw from their account when it's grown to a substantial amount. It's just not realistic. Most people are just waiting to maybe hit a certain figure in their trading balance, maybe 100,000 or whatever. And then once they hit that amount, they plan to start pulling out their profits. But people aren't planning to just compound endlessly. But this is the assumption that a lot of people make, that, oh, you can't, well, if you compound this amount for this amount of years, you're going to have so much money. That's not possible. Well, because you're making the wrong assumption and your thesis is based on a wrong assumption. But like I said, is what it is. Everybody's got to make their own decision. And for me, all I see is the company just trying to do the right thing. You don't have to take my word for it. I'm not even asking you to take my word for it. I'm just trying to share my perspective and my view, having been in for just over 10 months now. But like I said, you saw the graphic about the positive reviews when it comes to withdrawals and payments. But I also wanted to share this announcement with you, like that you're seeing on the screen. And this might look insignificant, but look at what they're prioritizing with regards to the help desk. And we all know that the help desk needs improving, and they could, improve the speed at which they respond to tickets and so on and so forth. Not in any way saying that NovaTech is perfect. There's still a lot that needs to be worked on. But look at what they say they're prioritizing. In an effort to assist in resolving help desk tickets in a timely fashion, we are accepting tickets in the following categories. So they're accepting login assistance, right? Meaning they want you to have access to the platform, right? So the platform, they're not planning on making the platform disappear because they're trying to make sure that you're able to access it. Number 2, cash out and deposit assistance. In other words, they're trying to make sure that you're able to withdraw when you need to. And then if there is any issues with withdrawing or depositing, they're going to prioritize that, right? Email and PIN reset. So if you need to change your email address or reset your PIN, things of that nature. Security issues, refunds and cancellations. I mean, to me, this might look like not a big deal, but you can see that efforts are being made to improve the service to customers. Efforts are being made to to respond to some of the things that aren't quite 100%. They're trying to do better. They're trying to give us a better user experience, a better customer experience. And it's little things like this that lets me know that the company is moving in the right direction and they're trying to do the right thing. And, you know, a lot of these guys that are anti-NovaTech, they're not even in NovaTech. Yet they want to try and tell you not to go in, but they're speaking from secondhand information. They've not actually tried it and been in, you know, they've not actually tried it and gotten involved so that they can have first-hand experience. They just go in by all this secondhand, you know, information and trying to convince you that their secondhand information is correct. Whereas what you really should be listening to is the people that are actually in NovaTech, and then hear both sides of the stories. Hear the people that are not in. You know, I'm always I preach the gospel of balance and listening to both sides of the story. Yeah, you can listen to some of the negativity, but also listen to the people that are actually involved and what's their experience been like, and then weigh up the two to make your decision. You know, that's what I'm saying. And if losing money is your fear, you know, I'm not going to say that that fear isn't valid, because at the end of the day, nobody wants to lose money, okay? But also, you won't make money sitting on the fence. You know, you can sit on the fence and spectate and sit and watch whether, oh, is it going to last? Is it not going to last? Oh, it's been around 3 years. How many more years will it be around for? And you, all that time, you're sitting on the fence, whereas you could have been making some money. But you can choose to sit on the fence, but you just won't make any money sitting on the fence. And you also need to remember that every investment carries risk. Every single investment carries risk. Even the so-called safe traditional ones. You know, if you bought real estate in the part of Canada that I live in, Ontario, if you bought real estate last year, well, the chances are right now you've lost some money on your real estate, because due to the interest rate hikes and things of that nature, it's caused the market to dip. So even the so-called safe investment, you could lose money. Every investment carries risk, but no risk, no reward. It's as simple as that. Fortune favors the brave. No risk, no reward. You can sit and spectate, but spectators ain't gonna make nothing. But the key is to only risk what you can afford to lose. That's the key. You know, if you're worried about losing money, which is a valid worry, nobody wants to lose money. I don't want anybody to lose money. And if that's your biggest worry, then the key is to risk only what you can afford to lose, because then you sleep well at night. If all you can afford to start with is $100, $200, then start with that. Start with whatever's going to allow you to sleep at night. And in fact, I have to say this, I'm not in any way saying you have to join. To be honest with you, I don't care whether people join or not, you know. But I'm just saying that if you do decide to, start with what you can afford to lose. And that way you're not worried about what happens. You're able to sleep peacefully at night, not worrying about what's going to happen to your money. Only risk what you can afford to lose. And then another thing I'll say is take profits regularly so that you can break even as soon as possible. So if you invested $1,000, you want to try and double that as quickly as you can. So once your account grows to 2,000, then pull out your 1,000. So now you're risk-free, right? Break even as soon as possible, pull out your initial investment, and that way you're managing your risk. Another thing you can do is leverage the referral program so that you can trade with your referral bonuses as opposed to risking more of your own personal money. And these are things that I cover in you know, some of my other videos. If you want to learn about how you can leverage the referral program, there's a video I have on my channel. I think the title is something along the lines of how to maximize your weekly NovaTech profits. I also have another video on how to gain more referrals, things of that nature. You know, those videos will really help you with regards to growing your NovaTech business and earning referral commissions. And you just got to have strategies in place to help you minimize risk. There's risk to everything in life. But just because there's risk doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. You know, getting on a plane is risky. It doesn't mean you shouldn't get on a plane. That's just the way it is. You know, it's just about finding strategies to manage those risks. And if you're able to correctly manage risk, then the chances of losing reduces and the chances of gaining increases, right? And even if you do lose, then the loss isn't catastrophic that it completely ruins you financially. If you've enjoyed this video, please smash the thumbs up button. Also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. If you are looking to get started with NovaTech, my referral link will be in the video description that you can use to enroll and register your account. But I also recommend only enrolling once you have your crypto ready to fund your account, because there is a 48-hour window whereby you must fund your account. So keep that in mind. If you've enjoyed this video, I believe that there's other 2 videos coming up. You'll enjoy those as well. Again, this is not financial advice. The information presented on this channel is for education and information purposes only. Please do your own due diligence. Like I said, every investment carries a level of risk, so only invest what you're willing to lose, and past performance isn't indicative of results